Hello, lovers of truth, wisdom, and knowledge, and warriors against consensus reality. It's not quite 7 a.m. here on what will probably be a warm, humid day. Oh, how I loathe this weather. You in the Northern Hemisphere right now who are experiencing cold and snow and who think that you would like this weather, trust me, you would not. I had a little bit of fun putting out a video on my previous main channel, and I thought, okay, that's enough of that nonsense. Let's get back to business here, shall we? And I was talking with a friend, having a coffee with an old friend, and we usually get to the business of discussing, shall we say, more deeper esoteric topics of conversation, and usually spending some time having a good chuckle over people who take themselves way too seriously. Whether they be the shallow materialists who hide behind job title and possessions, or the Abrahamic gobshites who hide behind their increasingly pathetic religions. We end up interspersing deeper truth with our humorous exchanges. And yesterday was no exception. And it got me thinking afterwards, actually. And do forgive the coughing, I still have my morning voice. How that there are two things which people who are on any kind of path of esoteric transformation or self-realization need to bear in mind. First of all, not everything is as it seems. And the key is experiential transformation. Because as my friend and I discussed, the ancients were ingenious in perhaps realizing intuitively the coming mindless horde of Abrahamic thought cancer that was going to come upon them. And whether it be, we took two main examples. The Celtic Druids and a group of people closer to my heart and bloodline, the ancient Hellenes, whether they be of the mainland, the members of the various Eleusinian mysteries and mystery cults, or those in the wonderful shining beacon that was Alexandria. You know, before the Arabs shit all over it and turned it into a dirty cesspool. And before the Abrahamic gobshites got butthurt and once and for all destroy the Great Library. But anyway. These people who were engaged in pursuits of esoteric knowledge, philosophy, and various thoughts of spiritual, esoteric wisdom, knowledge, realize that the mundane level of humanity, you know, those we call today the quote-unquote normies, would not be able to effectively handle this body of work with the right attitude coming in. Of course, they'll try to pervert it and twist it around and manipulate it to their own shallow, ego mind-driven quest for power and more power and more power. So they encoded a couple of devices which was ingenious. Namely, they codified everything in using allegory and archetype. And they ensured that the only way to truly understand and connect with this body of knowledge, and to importantly use it, was to actually become initiated into what we would today perhaps call experiential, or what we can call another way, to receive the key to unlock this body of knowledge in its true context and true setting, and to be able to truly understand it and use it, one would need to receive the key of experiential self-initiation. Because a lot of people, even to this very day, those who claim any kind of interest in spiritual, new age, esoteric, whatever, usually it's little more than parroting head knowledge. It's not really. It hasn't really penetrated to the very core of their spiritual being, to their very soul yet. They haven't actually switched on the kinetic energy and actually engaged the doing aspect, which is probably the all-important, which actually unlocks this body of knowledge to be able to truly understand it and use it and do wonderful things with it. So these people, my ancestors, the ancients, they were geniuses in that. Because presto, then we had the Abrahamic gobshites, who turned an otherwise functional, allegorical body of knowledge into a literalist thought cancer called Christianity. And look what's happened to that during the last 1700 years. So Constantine, really, he ensured the destruction of the laughable religion that he was having a religious control ejaculation over. Funny that. Oh, the irony. While trying to destroy all traces of Gnosticism. Because, of course, they had the right idea. They had the real first Christianity, didn't they? It amuses me to this very day where a lot of the Bible fuckers you may see around, they sort of reverently go on about, oh, the time of the apostles and the real primitive church Christianity. No. No. Or you might have people talking about the Book of Revelation and John of Patmos. Well, he actually wasn't of Patmos. The claim is that an illiterate Jewish fisherman wrote in flawless classical Greek. Try again. Try again. The very book that was almost not put into canon. The book which for most of its history was not even considered scripture, but a pagan Gnostic perversion, quote unquote. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Think about that for a second. And there are still people today who think that it's all about the Antichrist and the end of the world. It's not. It's not. It's got nothing to do with those things. That's what the Abrahamic gobshites told you it was. Wrong. And I have arguments about that to this very fucking day, which I find amusing. Wrong. So this body of knowledge was designed so that only those who basically see, there's a process where one becomes fully connected with one's higher self. Buddha nature, Krishna consciousness, Christ within, call it whatever you will, it's the same fucking thing. The light doesn't change, only the colour of the lens through which it hits changes. And so when one becomes fully connected with one's own higher self and is successful in the constant battle with one's own ego mind, and thereby bringing balance to the ego mind and bringing it back into its proper positive setting, because it does have a positive side in the sense of helping one's own sense of self, sense of I, which of course the Hellenic word is where the word ego comes from, which means me, I, right? But as with everything, it's brought out of balance and into a more malevolent side of awareness, creating ego mind, which is the negative expression thereof. So when you hear, even in their own little New Testament, the self dies but Christ lives in me, that's exactly what that's talking about. It's got nothing to do with a mythical character called Jesus Christ. Never has, never will. Those who actually truly understand that maybe can actually understand and gain something from this book, quote-unquote book. All it is a collection of letters, over a third of which were shown later to be blatant forgeries. Anyway, oops, there goes most of the writings of Paul. But that process of transformation, even in this, especially in this world of thought control, thought fascism, scamdemics, and all other manner of mechanisms of totalitarian control, that process remains available and open, and more important than ever before. And even when considering such thing as Druidism, yes, there are those who think that they're edgy and cool and so insecure that they need to have people constantly falling all over them and calling themselves Luciferian pagans. Can you say oxymoron? So whenever you hear anyone calling themselves Luciferian pagan, run for your fucking life. Who shit all over anything of any value, including Druidism. There are no Druids. Druidism is open. Druidism is available. It's one of those things which, thanks to the church, it requires extra steps to engage with it. And in this day and age, to access it requires not dressing up in those silly white outfits at Stonehenge. No. Truly engaging with this above mentioned transformation process, this kinetic transformation process, because only then, when you reach that experiential beingness, can you engage with this knowledge, wisdom, power. It's still there. It exists. Everything exists. Everything still exists. Just not in our physical world. And when you start to realize that there are many worlds, there are many layers of awareness and being and consciousness available for our exploration if we actually get off our lazy backsides and put the work in, you can actually start to realize, oh, okay, fantastic. Because, of course, many years of this is a relic of the Industrial Revolution. The focus on materialism and the excessive pushing of atheism has had the effect of castrating everybody spiritually, esoterically, hell, mentally and emotionally. where people only think that they're being cool and educated and intelligent by saying, "Oh, we're only if I can't experience it with my five senses, it doesn't exist." Yeah, that's like shutting your eyes, sticking your fingers in your ears and saying la 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 la. That's what that is. Okay? That's being a 2-year-old child. And hopefully as a species we've sort of grown beyond the 2-year-old child phase. True progress, not regression. Which of course, if they want their population controllable, stupid and spiritually castrated, by all means push spiritualism, consumerism and atheism. See what they're doing there? However, those are who actually have the desire and the ability to get off our lazy human backsides, put in the work, realise the glory and wonder that is available to them. Yes, I think I'll leave it there. Food for thought. Do your own research. Put the work in. If you feel drawn, if you feel the call within, enjoy it, embrace it, follow it, because you're in for a really interesting ride. The Mind Traveller on guitar, out.